Welcome back to the Product Biz Podcast. Today we have another extremely special guest, Miss Catalina from Heliconia Boutique, and she is one of our incredible PBA members who has a beautiful jewelry business and has an incredible story, has been such a fun member inside PBA, such a bright light inside PBA. So we have her here today to do a little mini interview. So thank you, Catalina, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monica, for the opportunity. I'm super excited to be part of this podcast, share a little bit more about me, about Heliconia, and what it means to be in PBA, not just for the business, but also as a person.
Well, let's start with Heliconia. So tell us about your business. Tell us what type of jewelry, what it's like, paint the picture, and also tell us how you got started.
All right. Well, I'm the owner and co-founder of Heliconia. This business has started as a dream with my sister. We always wanted to be entrepreneurs, and this was not just a coincidence. It was because our parents were merchants. So this was kind in our part of us since we were born. And yeah, so we started and we tried different ways. It was not always jewelry. Actually, I was not a fashion girl. But then after trying different things during the pandemic, we got together. We were both going through different things in our lives. And that's when we were introduced to the jewelry world because we ended up meeting a small artisan in Colombia. And we found out about the power of jewelry. We both were like super in love with that because it gave us again a purpose of waking up and echarle ganas, as we say as Latins, like echarle ganas in the mornings, which means like showing up, getting ready, showering, because we were not even doing that because we were just working at home. And it gave us like that spark of like, okay, let's get ready. We saw like that power of just putting on like a pair of earrings, and that's what we wanted to share with other people. And that's when we found our purpose. And that's how Heliconia started. Now, like I see Heliconia bigger than that. Right now, I'm living in the States, but I'm from Colombia. So Heliconia is like our channel to share with people and with women, like how to feel special, like lift each other up. And also like is now for me a movement for like my community I'm working with. And yeah, it's been super fun.
Tell us about your pieces. Tell us about some of your best sellers, what they look like, the style. Tell us more.
So in Heliconia, we create very versatile ball pieces. It's not like minimalist at all. We try to have some regular pieces, but we are creating versatile ball pieces for women who lead with the soul and style. That's how we put it out there. And also, like they are very designed with purpose. Mainly right now that I have my target audience like defined. So we are creating pieces inspiring Latin America and in our culture to share a little bit more about us to the world.
And I
Yeah.
love your pieces because they're so stunning. They are bold. They are bigger. They are gold and they're just so beautiful. And I love how it definitely represents, and let me know if this lands to you, like represents showing up in a more bold way and having that extra confidence from putting on a more bold piece. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Actually, one of my clients, she bought the ring I'm wearing today, and she was like, every time I wear it, I feel like I'm the boss. And that's what we wanted to do with our pieces, like feel super confident, like empowering people and reminding us about our roots and about our culture, and also sharing it with more people that is interested in knowing about Latin America.
Now, paint the picture of the ring that you're wearing for the people who can't see it. If someone's listening to the podcast, what's the ring look like?
Well, this ring is called Misho ring. It's a leopard. It's huge. It's very big, very bold. It's all gold. And yeah, definitely it will give you that vibe of like you are not going to be invisible if you're wearing this ring. Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about your process because the artisans that actually make the jewelry are in Colombia. That's
Mhm.
correct, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about the process in terms of designing or choosing the pieces. How does that work?
So I'm in charge of designing my sister as well, but I'm like taking over that part. So everything start with me with like an innovation, like innovative process where, for example, for our last collection, Latido Latino, we start like I don't know, seeing elements. We pick four elements from four different cultures. This time was Mexico, Colombia, Peru. So we try like to get symbols, and then through that we work and pair with artisans in Colombia, and they develop the whole pieces. Like the pieces are made mainly in bronze plated with a thick layer of gold. It's a very artisan process, where like we are trying to connect deeply with the hands that are behind the whole process, and also like having a deeper purpose. So we are trying to, of course it's a small business, but social responsibility is also part, a huge part now of my values and core of the company. So we are trying to throw creativity workshops in Colombia, for vulnerable communities. So that means like with kids that have suffered any type of violence, or like other different communities. So we do little workshops through the jewelry and through like creativity, and that's giving us like every time more and more and more like value and purpose, because we are not doing this just because of, everyone wants to make money, but it goes deeper, and that's what keep us connected, me and my sister, me to Colombia and me to Latin America.
That's beautiful. Now, with these workshops that you mentioned, so are you going down there and facilitating, or are you partnering with a group that does that, or how does that work?
We sometimes lead the workshops. Last time was my sister leading the workshop. It was just like painting with the kids, with a group of kids that unfortunately have suffered like sexual abuse. And but we also pair with other artisans, and they lead the workshops. We have done so far three workshops. We are going to do one more at the end of the year. And last year on December, I was one in one of them, and it was a whole experience for the kids. But we also want to work with other type of communities. Why in Colombia? Because that's where, I mean, those are the roots. That's where the things are being made. I'm from there, and we have a lot of needs in our country. So I always wanted to export it, or like bring a little piece of Colombia to the world, but also return back home and give back.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a beautiful mission. I love it. Okay, well, I want to pivot a little bit and talk about your time in PBA because I had told this story in September and it always makes me laugh. I remember when you were contemplating to join PBA and we got on a
Mhm.
phone call.
Yeah.
And you were like, is this really gonna work? Is this really gonna work for me? You were on the final straw. You were like, it's this or nothing. So take me back to before you joined PBA. What were you experiencing in your business? What were you feeling? What were you struggling with at that point in time?
Well, before I started PBA, I was like in a point of my life where I was like, either I'm gonna take my business to the next level, or I'm not gonna do this anymore, because it was a lot of energy for me, like having my full-time job, then trying to figure out Heliconia, and my business, like my weekends were busy. So I was struggling a lot, because I was picturing myself like working for a company, like a big corp, a big title, doing my master degrees. Like I was with a lot of dreams, but also I had my baby on the other hand. So I was like, what should I do? And then it was like, I think this is the right time, because my contract was ending in my previous job. So I was like, this feels like the right time to give me the opportunity and see what happened. And if it doesn't happen, what's the worst that can happen? So that's when I took that decision. And back then I was like super scared. I was by myself. I was like very lonely. Like I was feeling kind crazy. And I know you have mentioned this before. Like sometimes when you risk a lot of things and decide to be an entrepreneur, yeah, you might be a little bit crazy, because not everyone do that. So I was like struggling. I had a bunch of anxiety as well, because of course my worth was, I don't know, a paycheck. It was a title. It was like being in a big company. So I was feeling super weird about my decision, but at the same time, something was pushing me to that decision. So that's when I found you, and I found the program, and I was just thinking like, there are so many programs, and I'm so lucky that I end up in this one and not in another one, because I do feel like it was a huge change for me once I found PBA, because before starting PBA, I didn't have like, I have a big vision, but I didn't have a roadmap. Like finding PBA to me meant that I remember that first call I joined, And I think it was about, I don't know, like the value, like creating your purpose. I can't remember the name, exactly the name, but it was like the free call, the one you do at first. And I
The
got
product promise, probably.
yeah, product promise.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, if I can take all of this just from this first call, I can imagine what is gonna be being inside PBA. So that's when I was like, should I do it? And then I remember you called me and it was like, this is a sign. So I was like, no, like, why not? Like, I need to invest in myself. I need to invest in this. If this is serious, why not putting the money on it? If I want to take this to the next level, I'm not gonna be able to do it by myself. So that's when I realized that I had to jump and do it. And things have been flowing after that. Like I know one of my concerns was paying, like how I was gonna pay if I'm not like employed anymore. But things have been always flowing and I can see like this has been worth it since moment zero because now I have that roadmap where that I can follow. And through following it, I've seen the results, not just again as a business, as a small business, but as a human being. Like my worth is not depending on a paycheck anymore, neither a title, neither like attached to an office, neither to my friends. Like it's it goes beyond that. And this is like PBA for me is not just like running my business, but therapy, as I say to my friends. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Oh, well, I think one thing that I noticed with you, oh my gosh, it makes me so happy, is when we did do that sales call, when you were contemplating to join PBA, and we can joke about it now, but I definitely felt that you were like defeated. That's the emotion that I felt. And is that how you were
Mhm.
feeling at that point in time? It was like it's this or nothing, kind of more of that defeated
Yeah.
emotion. And it makes me so happy. Like makes me want to cry when I see you now and you're just flourishing and you're on social media and you had this community event and you're showing up and you're talking on your stories and you're making videos and I'm like, oh, that's when I got on the phone with you. I'm like, that's the Catalina that I knew was there. And I was like, I just need her to trust me. I just need her to see that this is possible and to put a little bit of faith in me because I know if she joins PBA and we shift some things, we shift
Mhm.
like some of that personal stuff. If we can shift underneath the surface, that she's just gonna totally open up, totally flourish, and like totally be this like just it's hard to put in words, but just to come out of your shell even more. Not that I think you were reserved, but it was sometimes when we feel discouraged, it can dampen us a little bit.
Mhm.
And when we can remove that heaviness, then it just allows you to be so light and like your light just attracts so many people. And I want to talk a little bit about what's happened ever since. Like, talk to us about your community event because you and I haven't had time to talk about this, but I've seen it all
Yeah.
over your stories. So just tell us about that, like the most recent big thing that you just executed on.
Well, I just did my first big launch of one of my collections called Latino. That was all possible because I finally had the tools and the structure to know who was my audience, who I'm talking to, what are the pieces I'm going to create, what's the value behind Heliconia, and what do I want to bring to this world. So after like doing all this process, I was like, oh, I think I'm ready because before I was not designing as I am designing right now. I know this course is not about designers, but it's like it gives me the tools to properly say like, okay, I'm the designer, I'm doing this, and I'm doing all this creativity process. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna do my launch, and I want it to be super special. I want it to be like to involve all the community. I want this to be like something very unique. And I started the process of reaching out to people, and sometimes you feel like that you are by yourself, but there is so many people that wants to help. And I end up like connecting with musicians here in Colorado, um, with another company in Colombia that was like, okay, I'm gonna put the clothes for your event. Don't worry. A friend was like, okay, I'm gonna put the wine. Like it was like a whole community, and that felt just right. And it was what I love the most about my events. Like I wasn't scared about speaking, about talking about my brand, about Heliconia, about all these projects. And I think that's because all this training and all this process I've been doing these last 9 months with PBA, because it gave me those tools to be comfortable with myself. Again, what you were saying is right. Like at the beginning, it was just so scary and was like, oh, my little project. Now it's like I'm the CEO, I'm the boss of this of my business, and I take it like so serious that you can see how other people start seeing you not anymore like that small little business. Is something like it's very serious. It's something like it's growing. It's something with a purpose. Something that has like a mission and a vision. So um, that changed everything, and that made my event possible. This was like a huge event where more than 50 people was there, like just for Heliconia. There was like no like other interventions. It was just Heliconia. I saw like over 3,000 that night. And so it's been like it was something that blew my mind, and I think people's mind too, because neither my sister flew from Colombia, and she was like, I can't believe you just did all of this. I felt like I had another wedding during the event, but it felt just right. Like I was so happy just to tell my story with people and to share with them what's the vision of this business and creating community again. Like we see this as a platform also to create a movement of more women and more people that is migrating and is here, and they feel like kind of stuck or they don't know what to do, to feel like more empowered into who they are. So that's what we are doing with Heliconia now. And it's so fun to see. Like yesterday, I went to one of the boutiques I'm selling at to restock, and I wanted just to stop by and say hi. She was like, "Oh my God, she's super far away. I don't even know which part of Colorado is that, but she's super far away." And she was like, "You won't believe these two people. They know you because of either a market or your event. They've been shopping here and they recognize the brand." Like I've been hearing this more
Oh.
and more every time around Colorado, and it's like wow, like it's growing and seeing it. Even for my husband, that's been very supportive. He's like he gets in shock every time because he doesn't know what I'm doing here, sitting all day in my computer, and then I leave, and then and then when he sees this, is like, what the heck is going on? So that event was so special, and yeah, it now I feel like I have the momentum, and I want to keep like taking the most of it and keep working hard for it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, seeing that event unfold, that made me, oh my gosh, you have no idea how happy it made me to just be like, seeing your stories. I'm like, there we go. There she is. That's it. That's what I knew was there this whole time.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do we get Catalina to show up in this way and to have that belief in herself? So I loved
Mhm.
seeing that. So tell us a little bit more about the structure of the event. So was it in the evening? How many hours was it? It sounded like you had
Mhm.
wine, you had music, and then you did some speaking about Heliconia, and then there was opportunity for people to shop. Is that how it was structured, or what was it like?
Yeah, it was something like that. So at the beginning, we have musicians, like Latin musicians. So people had this little moment to network and see the pieces. I was not supposed to be selling at the beginning. Of course, I learned a lot of things. It was my first event. So a lot of people just arrived and they just wanted to shop. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't have time to say hi to everyone because I was in my little booth during the event while he was playing music. Then we had some wine. Then we had like everything started very early morning because we even had a runaway where some girls from the community as well. They were like, okay, I can just be your model, and they arrived early. We were sharing together, just getting ready all together with like a makeup artist also from the community. And then we had a photographer involved as well. After that, we were telling our story, like how everything started with my sister. It was an Spanglish event. It was kind of funny, but that's also part of my community. Like people that follows me, people that definitely loves both cultures. So at the end, it was fine. We were practicing the nights before with my mom here helping us,
Oh.
and my sister. And yeah, so we did that presentation, and then the Latino launch experience started. And what was it about? We had the four elements I was telling you about. It was Peru, Mexico, Colombia, and then they will start like I did interviews. Like I've been planning this for a whole long time, so I will have like interviews of people from the country of the element talking about this element and the importance of this element. So I don't know, like in Mexico we did the Corazón Milagrito, and they will start talking about like the interview I was displaying on a TV. It was like a Mexican girl telling us more about what the Milagrito heart represents for her. Then, yeah, we had Cuba. So a Cuban girl was speaking, but it was like an interview. So she was like, why the community is important, what she missed the most about Cuba, what means the in Cuba was son latido is the name of the element, which is represented by the tres cubano, which is an instrument. So why music is important for our culture. Like it was a whole experience, and senses and like music and culture involved. And then we had the Runaway, and another company in Colombia like borrow us like the pieces they were wearing, so it was the perfect complement. And then they were showcasing the pieces, and then after that we had more music and eventually like yeah, more sales. But it was like I kind of still believe that happened. Like when I go back, it's like, oh my God, everything happened so fast. But it was a great moment to connect with people. People was very impressed. People was very supportive. Like that's when I say, and I was always thinking about you when you say like you don't have to like people that wants to buy from you is the right people. Like not everyone is gonna love your product, and I felt that because the people that was there was my people, like the people that loves Heliconia, the people that understands the story, the people that wants to know way more about what we are doing daily and get more and more and more involved. So I could sense that that day, and a lot of people I didn't even know showed up. So that was kind of cool because I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm the designer. I'm the owner of Heliconia," and it was like a dream. So it was. I was very very happy with the results, same as my sister, and it gave us that boost of okay, what's coming next, how we can make things better. I've been like working on a lot of different projects. But it finds like I finally see like it's starting to flow better. Which I was, yeah, just doing like the Christmas things, and it's like okay, once you feel like something is starting to flow, there is another thing like you will have to start like looking for. But it's nice because that's how it is. Like it's like a kind of like a roller coaster of like okay, feeling calm, doing, feeling calm, doing. So yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And with this event too, I want to ask you just a couple more questions about it. It was a ticketed event, right? So people had to purchase tickets.
Yeah, so this was a great idea that one of my friends gave me. She was like, Kata, if you don't put a price, people maybe will RSVP, but they won't show up. So put a price and turn it into a gift card. And that was such a great idea. So if you ever do an event, you should do that because at the end, like people was like, okay, I'm gonna pay, it was just $20. I'm gonna pay like $20, but that is gonna be turned into a jewelry piece. Like it's part. It was a gift card. So as soon as they arrived, they will receive some information about the Latido Latino collection and the experience and the event, and also their gift card, so they could claim like what they have to do next to get their pieces.
Amazing.
So that was perfect. It was a very good dynamic,
Mhm.
and everyone showed up. Like we didn't have probably like one or two people that got the ticket couldn't show up, but that made like people way more engaged with the experience, and they took it like way more serious than just like, oh, it's a free event, just show up if you want. No, like everyone knew what they were coming for, and um yeah, I think it's a good idea
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah.
That's incredible. Now, a couple times you've mentioned how you finally know who your audience is. I've heard you say that a couple times. So, what really shifted for you, or who were you speaking to before PBA, and how has it shifted to who you speak to and how you show up now?
Well, before, and I also like I remember you were mentioning this to one of the training episodes. Like, if you speak to everyone, it's like speaking to no one, and that's what I was doing. Like, I didn't have like a clear audience. I didn't know how to do my content. I didn't know. I was super scared also of social media. I wouldn't show, like, I post in my personal here and there, but I wasn't like promoting anything or selling anything. Um, so yeah, what shifted was like when I arrived here to the States, the community and the people that has been supporting me, just not just like as a business, but just with all my process has been my community, like Latin community. Um, so that's why when I realized, like, by going to these markets, I was like, who do I connect the most with? Who is like how easy do I connect with people? So I think that was a great exercise as well to know to go into these markets just to realize like, oh, how can I like start doing this better? And then it was like, like I'm gonna just do it. Of course, like I'm not discriminating anyone. Anyone can buy from my jewelry, but uh, you know what I mean. Like I just wanted to talk to someone specific, and that's been working super well. At the beginning I was very scared because I was like, oh no, but what about if someone doesn't buy for me? And no, because that's going to attract more people. That's going to attract more people. Like someone is going to tell that other person like, hey, you know what, I remember recently a girl bought a gift card from my website, and she wasn't Latin, but she was like, my aunt na 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 na, she has this cousin and I want to give this gift card because she felt it represented by our mission vision and our audience. And that's, I think that's the power of it. Like it doesn't mean you're not gonna, you are resigning to sell like to everyone. Is more like it's, you're gonna feel more comfortable if you do it. You're gonna be focused. You're gonna find the tools and learn just about a specific target than just super wide, because then you are not speaking to anyone. So I think that was very useful. When I finally did that, I've been able to create more, to have like everything is connected. The whole story starts making sense if you are focusing in just one audience.
I love that explanation because that's what I think people struggle with is when you try to be for everyone, it's really hard to create content. It's really
Mhm.
hard to connect with people because how do you connect with people when you're trying to connect with everyone? It can be so challenging. So I love hearing you say that you were able to really hone in, kind of get the permission of, okay, this is my target audience. This is who I'm really going to speak to, and then seeing that content actually comes easier from it. That is the whole point of going through that exercise, and I'm so glad that that shifted for you. As we're talking about social media, also want to ask you because I remember when we were on that phone call, you told me that you had someone else managing your social media and you didn't like social media. And I heard these things. And now I want you to just explain what your social media is like. If you enjoy it, if you're having fun, just tell us all of it.
Well, yeah, before I was like kind of avoiding it. I wanted my brand to be like a different. I remember when I started, I pictured it like so different. Like, these jewelry brands that are super plain, just like beige colors and just jewelry. It looks more like a catalog than Instagram profile. That's what I was picturing it to be for. But it's so hard if you're gonna do it that way because no one knows you. Like, who's gonna buy from you? Like, companies that do that, probably companies that already been in this part of the process, or maybe before that's how it used to work. But nowadays, people really wants the connections, and for me to understanding that took me a little longer than it should have been because I was so scared. I was just like, oh, what is gonna people think about me? My friends are gonna make fun of me. It gives me cringe. All of these things that I was creating in my head. And then I remember when I did PBA live, you mentioned that sometimes those things are the mirror of our own like judgments. And yeah, then I started seeing people as babies, as you mentioned, also in PBA. Um, and it worked very well because it's like I don't judge anymore my friends that are trying to do their content creation like lives, and it's like, oh, that's so nice. Actually, when I try to see it with another perspective, people is sharing really interesting things, but sometimes because it's your friend, you just see it like weird. So yeah, so with social media has been a whole process. I started with an agency. The thing is, like, I feel like it's like so personal. It's like your toothbrush. That's how I call it. Like, you really need, like, I will get the results, but there was always something that was missing because these agencies have like 7 or 10 people that they are working with, and then at the end they are not implementing the strategy. I was like even telling them like what to do because of PBA. I was like, you don't know anything about sales. Like we should be doing this. You just told me I shouldn't be posting. I should post like once per day. I should post like and that's not true because it's not working clearly. So it made me like I was like, we are wasting our money. Like I know this is gonna take time because it does take time and it can be very overwhelming if you don't have a structure. Uh, but I think you have to manage it at least at the beginning yourself so you get to understand all the tools that are out there. What do you really want? What's the font? What's the size? What are the colors? Everything. And then maybe finding someone that help you a little bit more. But the structure and the creativity part, strategy, sales strategy, launching events, all of that involves marketing and strategy, it's going to be on you. And I also learned that from PBA, like at the end, you are not going to be able to outsource that part. You can be able to outsource, I don't know, like a template that someone has to send, like a review process, but the strategy, even these agencies that say like, oh my God, we have grown this and this account. I have tried twice and it's not that simple. It's better you at the beginning doing it yourself. And how I am managing it now is that I take time once per week to do like my schedule of what I want to do for the next 2 weeks. And each day has its own purpose. And that was also because of PBA. Like I did this Instagram module where you were talking about the CEL process and like the sell process. And I'm trying to do that every single day, mixing it with like the emotional part. So again, taking the formula you were explaining us about like kind of like 80% should be selling because if not, you're gonna be in the friend zone. And yeah, definitely. Like everyone was like, "Ah, you're so cute," and then I was like, "No, but I need to sell." So now I'm doing that. Like 80% is way more like related to sales and then the 20 other percent is more like personal life or like tips or like things that have nothing to do with the CTA, like with the sales objective. So on Mondays I do educational content mixed with value for me it's like seeing the results. Then on Tuesdays I do social proof that I wasn't doing before. I was just showing myself, but I wasn't showing people's faces on my Instagram. And that helped a lot. Like putting there the reviews or putting there like, oh, someone sent me a picture, so I'm gonna take this picture, kind of like what you were showing us during the class. Then on Wednesdays, I do tips, but also like at the end, I before I wasn't using CTAs. Like at the end, it was like, oh, this is for you, and that's it. But I will never ask for people help in return. Like you like this, send a comment, send something. Someone is seeing it, and I'm seeing right now way more interaction than before. And then Thursdays is more emotional. Thursdays is more like phrases. Fridays I do like fun content. It's not related to the sale, but more like something funny that involves the community. And on Thursdays is more like phrases, also to connect more. And that is structure also makes me think like and do things like easier and flow way more like because I know what type of content I have to be creating. So during the day I'm just recording myself, or if I have to go drop a package I will record it. So you have all of this already in your phone. So when you sit down and start like saying like, okay, Monday I'm gonna do this, you already have all these files in your phone that you're gonna use to do all this content. Also has helped me like following the people I want to look like and seeing what they are doing, what is working for them. Like you don't have to do everything by yourself. There is a bunch of creators out there and you can like see how can you put it into your words and work with that. And yeah, I have now a system, but before it was overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. Like before it was overwhelming. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of things you have to do. You end up when you're a business owner, you end up with all the hats, and definitely like CapCut and Canva and all of those were not in my roadmap at the beginning, but now I'm an expert. Like I'm super good at editing right now, that it's more natural and it flows better. And I don't think anymore, oh, what's my friend gonna think? It's like, I don't care. I don't really care what he's gonna think. Because why? Like, why do I have to care? Like, So that's the best part, and that's also because of a PBA, because it's not just about, yeah, like you are so scared at the beginning, but when you choose, as you mentioned as well, like I have this phrase somewhere in my house saying like if when you choose to see shift from problem to possibilities, like everything starts shifting when you believe in yourself, when your worth is not about a paycheck of orders or relating on other people. It's like you have weights on your shoulders and then you take them out. Like it's a relief. So I try to remind that to myself every time. Even for this podcast, before I started, I was like, I have a story to share. It's gonna help someone. If it goes well, well. If it not, it's okay because that's my story. This is my process, and I'm sure it's gonna help someone.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you said taking the weight off because I think, I don't know, that's such a, it's a big part of PBA is yes, people can have all the strategy that they want. They can have the tools, they can have the tactics, they can have, this is what you should say on social media and this is how you should show up. But underneath the surface, it's, do you believe in yourself or are you being weighed down by the fear of judgment, the fear of what people will say? The fear of so and so, the fear of being seen, the fear of messing up. So, talk to me also a little bit on social media as you've shifted through this, how you're showing up on your stories, even with your event, you had your mic, you were recording. Because you mentioned that before you weren't on really your social media, you weren't talking on your stories, you weren't recording talking head reels of you. But what does that look like now?
Well, right now I have all the tools, and it's so funny because I just started. Of course, you want your content to get to another level as well. So I start like gearing up, buying a little upgrades, and I can see my progress because when like I do this more often than my sister. My sister is in charge of other things like little workshops in Colombia, the social responsibility part, and designing. But definitely, I'm more like in the social media part, and sometimes you don't realize how much you have grown until you see someone else doing it, and it's like it comes way more natural. Like before I was so scared, or also because my English isn't my first language, so at the beginning I was very scared, like I didn't know how to communicate myself, and it was like the people that is going to follow me is people that is probably bilingual, and they will know that I'm trying my best here to at least I am bilingual, you know. So taking out like all these fears and being less judgmental is what helped me to speak up and to be less afraid of telling my story. So that's why that day in the Latino experience, I was with a mic and I was like, I remember we had like a little mistake and I just laughed. I was like, yeah, we're humans. Like it can happen. It's okay. It's okay. And no one is gonna die because of this. So we are fine. And that's the mentality I have nowadays. It's more like, of course I care and I want everything to be perfect and I want, but the more I let go, I will talk sometimes and my husband is behind me and he's like, I don't care. So he's just around, or even in front of people in the streets. It's like, yeah, because this is making some money for me. This is showing my product, this is showing my value proposition to other people. Why should I be like that, scared of doing it and embarrassed? Like, no, it's working, and yeah, so I think it's been amazing, and it's a process. Like this is not gonna happen. Yeah, tomorrow you are gonna be the best one in social media. I still have a lot of things to learn, but I'm definitely enjoying it way more. And I think um, I just do it like daily nowadays because it's part of the routine now. Like I do it naturally, so I have already in mind what I want to do, or suddenly, like if I see something that is interesting, I just write it down. I have a whole file in Excel so I don't miss any of my ideas. And if a Instagram post is not the best, before it will give me so much anxiety, or if my sister or if I made a mistake, I'll be like, oh my God, freaking out. And I was like, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. So I think that helps too.
Yes. Are you having more fun in your business now compared to before?
Oh yeah. Definitely. Before I was super stressed. I didn't believe that it was working. So now I think I'm a little bit more patient, even with my markets, because I also did my like the class of the markets, and every time I go to a market, I put um yeah, like a reason to be there besides the sales, and that helps a lot. It's like, okay, I'm here to do connections. Today, I'm here to do connections, and I focus a lot on that. So I start talking with someone that is next to me, and then it's amazing because of that, they tell me about other markets or other events or platforms or this store is here. You should reach out to this one. So it's not just about selling, and that takes all the pressure as well. And same with the business. Like I'm trying to be more. I have my mantra written from our PBA life, and I try to remind that every day because you forget, and
And
then
what's
that's
the
why I
mantra?
love.
Which mantra is it?
It's more like phrases. I have it here. It says, "I'm a lucky person. I love myself, and I don't need a reason to love myself. What's the miracle is gonna happen today? I'm so lucky. God loves me. Life loves me. I love myself so much. I choose to shift from problem to possibility. If it's possible, it's possible, and it's possible for me now. I'm worthy even when orders are not there. My word is a personal choice. Freedom is also a choice. Play to win, not to lose. And seriously, it helps. Like every time I tell myself I'm so lucky, and then I believe it, something happens. Like something great happens. Or I ask all the time, I believe a lot in God. So it's like, God, send me, like, give me a sign. And before I wouldn't see them because I was just thinking negative, negative, negative. But every little thing that happened good is like, that was a sign, right? So having that perspective of like, takes me farther and farther and farther and farther and going, because of course sometimes you will feel down, but the less you stress about money, the more it comes as well. And you just have to keep like focusing in the things you have to be doing, and not getting busy with the things you don't have to be doing. That I have also learned from you. I have a VA right now that is helping me with those things. So I get out of my comfort zone and do the things I should be doing, no matter the result, just doing them. And then the results follow.
Well, it's so incredible to hear of your growth because what you shared with us really is before your worth was tied to a paycheck or a job title or what people thought. And hearing so much of how your worth is now, you're just inherently worthy, like I am worthy. And now you have shifted so much to focus on community and supporting people on the mission and the values of your business. And that is the most beautiful shift, which is why those things that you read were from PBA Live, some of your notes from that, right?
Yeah.
So that
Hmm.
is why during our 2-day event at PBA Live, why we focus on that. Because look at how much growth and how you've shifted from that moment with some of these mantras and other learnings from it that has alleviated that pressure, alleviated that need, alleviated that like grasping towards something, and just has allowed you to actually create community,
Hmm.
create connection, and create something that's going to last. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh my gosh, I am so proud of you. I love hearing your story. Oh, makes me so
Thank
happy. There's been
you.
so many times I'm like, okay, I need to keep talking because I'm crying. Um,
Monica,
I
no.
love hearing your story. I'm so proud of you, like so proud of you. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So why don't you share? Let's do two things. One final question I want to ask you. Two final questions. First one is, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining PBA?
Oh my God, like 100% join. Like, I was just thinking, even if you have a full-time job, if you have a whole family, if you are new or you have never had a business, if you are in the middle of your business, and or if you want more time, definitely you should join, because you don't have to do everything by yourself. There is people that has already done all this job. In this case is you, Monica. Like, you have already been through this process, plus learning from all of us and all the different businesses. Because I was very scared, like, oh my God, maybe she has never done jewelry, so because of that she's not the right fit. But since you have already this community, you have learned from each market and know how. people feels, and you have such a great structure. I feel people should join just to have, you already have the vision, but what about getting the roadmap? That's BPA for me. Like at the end, like without that roadmap, I wouldn't be here. There is still a long way to go. Like I haven't been that consistent with my classes. I need to go back. I'm doing the Facebook part right now, because each project will take time, and definitely it's not like it's gonna change, but like from an A to another, but definitely it will give you the structure. And if you are being told what to do all your life and suddenly you decide to start something by yourself, I feel it's like a great opportunity to organize yourself and know how to manage things easier. Like if you follow what you have to do and you keep doing it and you find ways and you don't see problems but opportunities in the things that are happening, you're going to have way better tools than being by yourself. So invest, that's my advice. Invest in yourself and you will see the results for sure.
Where do you think your business would be if you take yourself back to when we were on that phone call, feeling a little discouraged or maybe a lot discouraged? Where do you think your business would be if you didn't believe in yourself and take that little leap of faith to join PBA right now?
Probably wouldn't be. I'll be already like working for someone else, like getting, I think, yeah, I was in that bottom line of like either I take this to the next level and I see results somehow, or this is not going to happen because it was too much. So definitely my business wouldn't be here. I would be like doing something different, and I'm glad I'm not, because yeah, this was my dream, and seeing it growing and seeing like how people now knows me, seeing like how people is like, oh my God, that's my favorite jewelry, like all those comments and all that feedback and all the support definitely is like it has paid already everything of PBA. Like so, yeah.
Oh, well, so proud of you. So, so, so proud of you. Share with us your Instagram, your website, so everyone can find their new favorite jewelry business, see all your amazing pieces, and stay in touch with you.
Thank you. So my website is heliconiaboutique.com, and then my Instagram is Heliconia Boutique. So yeah, I hope to see you all there. If you need any help, also Monica, if you need any help with like content creation, I already have my system so I can share it with everyone as well. And it's been great. It's been amazing, and thank you so much. I am always so thankful. I talk to all my friends about you and the program because it was like it's been so helpful, and I know it's gonna help so many people. And yeah, I'm so excited to see you in person again. Hopefully next PBA Live. Yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you, Catalina. I'll link your social media, your website, so people can stay in touch. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica.